Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. So this is a mic test. Hello guys, if you are able to hear me and see the screen. So this is a mic test. Hello guys, if you are able to hear me. Just use the comment section and let me know. Hi John, how are you doing? Is my audio clear? Hi Ronnie. So thank you for the quick audio test. Now let me just quickly arrange a few things. Why is it still showing the messages? So guys, this will be the 5th webinar in our weekday webinar series, right? Let a few more seconds pass by so that if more people are going to join in. There is bad interference in my audio. Let me see. Huh? So, bad echo. Is it possible that you can use some headphones and try, because when I'm turning on the audio on my phone, it sort of sounds okay. Hello, Andre. So can you guys tell me if there's an echo on TradingView as well, or is it some problem due to secondary broadcast? Ronnie and Andre, can you confirm if there's some issues with audio? No echo. So John, I think you can just join in on TradingView in that case, because it's clear over there. And thank you, Sam, for the confirmation on YouTube and cards. Okay, thank you, Ronnie. Okay, guys, so then in that case, let's just quickly start off. Everybody who was going to join, I hope has already joined in. So before we move any further with anything, here is the legal disclaimer suggesting all content presented here is for educational purposes, and all views, if you use any of the views presented here, you yourselves will be liable for your profit, loss of profit, etc., etc. So hope you can join in fast, John. We are just going to start off. So that was the legal stuff, and now let me just give you a very quick introduction. My name is Neerav Yadav. I'm the founder of 50 Eyes Market Analysis YouTube channel, as well as 50eyes.com website. This is a website where I present my views on various different markets, and I've been doing it for many years now. I'm primarily a trader who also does coaching work as a side business. And one of the many achievements that I have is the fact that I have above industry standard accuracy record for more than 6 years now. So here's the compilation of all the forecasts and analysis that I've done publicly. As you can see, 2016, 83% was over accuracy, 2017, 87.5, 2018, 84.61, 2019, 84.88, and 2020 almost 90, and 2021 is 82.22. So this is unmatched in the industry, anybody who is into the forecasting business knows that even 60% plus is considered very good in this industry. So that's for the forecasting side. As I said, I'm primarily a trader, but I'm not very comfortable showing my actual bank records here in a public stream. So you will have to make do with this for now. So that's for the rough, not rough. That's for one of the few achievements that I have. I'm also the author of Think with the Markets. This is again a book published this year itself on Elliott Wave or application of Elliott Wave, I must say. And I would also like to point out that I have some courses and personal classes, etc., which you can check on. Right. So if you are viewing this webinar for the first time, I'd like to point out that you can get updates for the next webinar by following my Twitter handle. The timing and the links are always posted on Twitter. Right. And because also there's a problem like Twitter, people follow many people there. So my update may not be visible at some point in time. So to avoid that, what you can do is just also follow me, or what you call subscribe to the emails. Major updates are passed on here, not just the webinars but anything else important, and some private webinars that I hold which are not available as a public recording, etc., are also pushed here. For instance, last year and last year around April, we did a private webinar where I showed off my broker's track record and everything, where I showed that we made more than 500% profits. So that kind of stuff is done privately. So you can subscribe to the emailing list if you are interested in that kind of stuff. So that's about it, I believe. And let's just head on to the webinars. And yeah, one last thing, if you are not familiar, my area of expertise is Elliott Wave. And these webinars are also conducted with the Elliott Wave as the main tool for analysis. You will see more as we go along. The way we will proceed with this webinar is first we will go over the chart of Euro USD, then EURCAD, followed by USDJPY, EURJPY. Then we will go for commodities, crude oil, gold, and then we will check Nifty. In the end, if we have time, we will also check Bitcoin. So let's first start over with the chart of Euro USD, and I'm on the 4-hour chart. And before I actually start the actual webinar, just give me a quick final confirmation that the audio is clear, so that there is no funny business around going around. 7:40 is what we start at. What about you, Ronnie? What about you, Andre? And what about the people on YouTube? Cards is there, Sam is there. Give me a final confirmation so that we can start. John, are you logged in back, or are you still logged out? Okay. Thank you, Sam, for the confirmation. Sam is saying all good. Now here Andre is saying here, so that means he can hear. So yeah, in that case, we will start off the webinar now. So first of all, in Euro, what we have is we have a sort of correction going in the upward direction. And the correction, I'm taking it as a WXY XZ correction here. So when we were in the last webinar, we discussed the Euro chart from this point of reference, which was the low of 0.95257 around 28 September 2022. And when we analyze the chart, we put on the labels which looked something like this. There was one more analysis which we did in the last webinar, but it is sort of irrelevant now. So I will not go into detail on that. So checking on with this one, what we suggested was that if this is a WXY correction, then there should be an X which should follow up, right? Once the X is complete either here or here, I mean, X can go sideways and become more complex. There should be a wave Z up. And for those of you who are not much familiar with Elliott wave corrections, I'll just give you a quick rundown. So a WXY XZ correction is also called a triple zigzag correction. Each leg is a zigzag pattern. That's why it's called triple zigzag, because it has collectively 3 zigzags. So this is the first zigzag consisting of first leg up, a small correction, and the next leg up. This is called a W. And there's a second zigzag which is called a Y, and then a third zigzag which is called a Z. Each zigzag is joined by a connecting wave called X. Connecting wave called X. So as you can see over here, the first connecting wave is here. The position of the second connective wave is unknown. It is possible it's complete here. It is possible it is continuing. But anyways, the moral of the story is once the second connecting wave is complete, we should see a takeout of the last high. Now the thing over here is the takeout of the last high has already happened, right? So the minimum target is already achieved, right? So at this point, it is not really very clear what is this market going to do. Is it going to continue with the wave Z to the upside? It is possible because, as I just said, because the minimum is taken out, the Z may have completed, right? But generally, Z is not complete like that. It generally does a little bit more movement. But as I said, it may very well have completed. So let's analyze the situation now, right? So the first thing is, I personally think that it is possible that this X is still continuing here. What I mean by that is that this could be a flat correction, right? Once this flat is complete, there will be the start of Z. Second thing is that if the X is already complete, which as I said is a low probability scenario, then we are definitely not sure how much longer Z will complete. So at that point, the formation of Z becomes unclear, right? And with that, let's have another few scenarios in mind, like some levels where we'll be checking out that, not checking out, where we'll be considering that maybe this leg to the upside may have completely finished. So first of all, let's take this low, right? This is the low around 1.02238. Now, if we consider that this market is forming a flat correction, then the most or highly sought out flat correction is a running flat. In a running flat, the market does not really go lower than the low of wave A. So what I'm talking about here, what is running flat, what is lower of wave A low? So basically a running flat is a flat pattern as is in the name, and it consists of 3 legs down, 3 legs up, and then 5 legs down. So what is the important thing over here is that the new 5 legs down, they do not go lower than this low. They stay above this low. So that is the highest likely, or not highest likely, this is the one of the most common flat patterns that I observe which form in these markets. So because of that, we can assume that maybe if this forms a flat, we can then assume that it is most likely going to form a sort of running flat, because as I said, based on this chart, this is a likely scenario. As a matter of fact, you can observe it here as well. 3 down, 3 up, and I wouldn't say it's a 335, but WXY maybe. But anyways, the main characteristic trait that it is ending above the low of wave A is there. So with that in mind, I would say that alert near the low, which is 1.0255, which I have right now, would be serving as our first base for thinking that maybe what we have over here has completed. But that's just a possibility. which I think is low probability. So to conclude, I personally think that the X is continuing here, and then it will be followed by one leg up, right? That's our first possibility, that let's say H1 or hypothesis 1, that the market will see some sideways movement which should be followed by up leg. Hypothesis 2 is suggesting that the Z is already complete or it's continuing. So hypothesis 2 is suggesting that let's just go with the Z continuing. So hypothesis 2 is suggesting that the Z is continuing and some more up leg should be seen from this market without taking out this low. Hypothesis 2 is suggesting straight up movement, and there's a hypothesis 3 which is suggesting that Z is complete and the market will go down, which I think is low probability scenario. So the high probability scenarios are suggesting that some upside movement is remaining. That's about it for this analysis. Now I'll just check the comments. If you guys have any doubts, you can just post them in the comment section or just type in clear. What about you, John? Have you joined in again on YouTube or TradingView? I don't seem to see you in the comments here. So we have a question from Camera. Z wave normally strong. No, there is no such evidence that they are strong. If anything, they should be weak because they are suggesting the end of the move. So let's see. And if you guys are clear, I would appreciate if you can just type that in the comment section. That ensures that everybody is on the same page and we can move on. What about you, Sam and cards? Praveen is saying yes, fine, but I don't see the timestamp here. Anyway, as he moves ending with strong pushes, you not see this. There are a lot of moves. We are just talking about WXYXZ here. This the moves you are suggesting could be the diagonals or something else. There are a lot of ending moves. Not everything goes in the WXYXZ. So thank you for the confirmation, Andre. John is back. How is the audio now, John? Let me load up the second chart here, which will be the chart of EURCAD. EURCAD. Let's see, where is that thing? There it is. Okay, perfect. That's good. So EURCAD, when we analyzed last webinar, which was on Friday, we were working with this new count where I was suggesting that maybe the wave, you know what, let me go from the start. So we had an assumption that from this point of reference on 25th August 2022 around 1.28765, we were assuming that we are going up in a diagonal, and the labelings you can already see the 1 here, the 2 here, 3 here, 4 here, and 5th. And for those of you who don't know, diagonal is basically a 5-wave pattern where the first one is a 3 wave, second one is 3 waves, third one is 3 waves, and the 4 and 1 overlap. That is the more important feature, right? So one second. Yeah, there it is. So the 4 and 1 overlap, that is the most important feature in a diagonal. And the fifth one is again up. So with that in mind, when we just analyze the last leg, which is the fifth wave after the completion of this wave 4 circle degree, we find that there should be 3 waves which are labeled as an A up, B down, and C up, right? And if we look at the chart now from this point, we have this as our A up, this as our B down, right? And this is our C up. And the thing is that because it's a corrective structure, we can consider this as a running. Actually, I don't think that would be doable. I will have to check that if there is some configuration fitting in with V for the B wave over there. But let's just for now go with this, the B wave over here. It does not look very appropriate at that point. And see over here. So as I said, the fifth wave have three waves called an A up, a B down, and C up, an A up, a B down, and C up. And in this particular case, it would seem that this C wave can be counted as possibly complete. Let me just check one more thing. Yep. You could say that this is a 1 up, small 2, 3 up, 4, and then 5th up complete. Right. And the second thing you can say that this is just the 1 of the C, 2 of the C, 3 of the C. Anyways, long story short, we don't really care much about what's going on over there because we have a channel over here. And as you can see, I already have pushed an alert over here exiting the channel. So once this market exits this channel, then we can assume that or we can consider that this leg is possibly complete, and then we can go on for the short trading opportunities in this market, right? So that is the only or the major important what do you call thing over here, right? And secondly, if this market takes out the upper side of this channel, then obviously I think this count should be considered incorrect, right? And this is not the most optimal count. I will have to also point that out. They sort of have a lot of inconsistencies for what it should look like as a diagonal. So that was our conclusion on this chart, right? And for what it's worth, if it really is a diagonal, I don't think it should go any further. It has already taken out the upper trend line for once. So it's a wait and watch with the channel break as our primary trigger. That's about it for EURCAD. Let me know if you guys have any comments or doubts or anything in this chart, about this chart. Yes, that's exactly what I just said, Jamera. Any other comments? If you guys are clear, how about just type in understood or clear? Okay, thank you, John, for the confirmation over there. What about Andre and Ronnie? Are you guys with us or have you left? If you are, why are you not typing in the comment section? Okay, in that case, I'll just note down the time. And move on to the next chart. The next chart will be chart of US dollar, Japanese yen, and this is with us right over here. If you guys were with me in the last webinar, you must remember that I pointed out very clearly that I was I was actually short this market and I was hoping that it would continue lower, right? And let's check what was the basis of that analysis. The basis of this analysis, there are two main analyses we can follow, but I think we are following the WXY one. One second. Yeah, this is the one I think we are following. So in this analysis, Ron is saying still here I have 87 tabs open. I can understand, man. I think I have almost the same or maybe more number of tabs open. So by the way, I use Firefox. What do you use? Chrome? Or do you use the Trading View? I think they released some sort of build on top of Chrome to manage their website. I think it was in beta stage a little bit earlier, and they now released first copy or version 1. Anyways, getting back to the point, WXYXZ is what we were hoping that or thinking that this count was really. And what was that? One second. Yeah. So my understanding of this chart was that because this was the point of reference, And my understanding was if this was the A up and this was the A, B, C, D, E triangle for B, and this was the C, then this should lead to a leg lower, which should take out the last low. Now the thing is that it has already done that, right? And it has already done that, but if it really is a wave Z, then I mean, obviously, as I said in the last chart, that there is no obligation for wave Z to do anything other than take out the low. But I'm hoping that it will continue a little bit more to the downside, but that comes with another new risk. And the risk is that if we forget about everything and just analyze the chart from this point, then the risk would be that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for A, and the B will possibly go a little bit deeper than what you can think of, or what you would like to see, basically, I should say, and then form another C down for the Z. That's one of the risks of holding this position. Second is that we have already completed the Z here, and this market can just fly high. So basically, the point is if you are short and if you can hold, then hold with some stop loss. If you are not really short, then there isn't much to do here, right? Because even though I'm counting this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, complex corrections generally have a way of forming incorrect looking patterns and completing before you think they may have completed. I would not count the forced counts here, but you get the idea. You can just force a count here to look it like that is complete already. So that's the point here. If you are short and you had a good entry, then maybe hold with a particular stop loss. 50-60% retracement of this leg would be, it won't be good anyways. So I won't suggest anything. Even that can be taken out and then the market can still continue down. So that's the analysis on US dollar Japanese yen. Minimum downward movement as suggested in the last webinar is complete. So as far as I'm concerned, the analysis has played out, but I personally am holding the shorts for now and we'll see how this market proceeds. Let me know if you guys have any queries regarding this chart. Otherwise, we can consider this as complete and move on to the next chart. Thank you, Andre, for the confirmation. Thank you, John, for the confirmation on YouTube. And Ronnie had written, I use Brave. Built-in ad blocker is great. Yep. But Ronnie, if you are using 87 tabs of TradingView, then you must be having the subscription. Oh, you meant 87 tabs, not of TradingView specifically. I get it. Yeah, I remember they have an annoying ad on the bottom left. But yeah, what can they do? They are running a business after all. So let's move on to the next chart. Next chart will be of USD EURJPY. Yep, Ronnie saying total. So EURJPY, let's check. So a little bit interesting movements here on EURJPY. So EURJPY, what we have over here is what I am assuming from this point of reference, we have a possible, what do you call, a flat kind of correction here. Now, I'm not going to go into the complete detail of the count because the count comes from the weekly chart to the daily to the 4 hour. And if you really want a picture of it, you can just go visit the last webinar. I think we have covered it over there. So currently what I'm observing here is I think this may be a wave and this may be the B wave over here, right? Could be that the B is continuing. But anywho's the point I have over here is that whichever the case was, the C wave should go down and should take out this low, right? So a short-term sell setup can be seen on EURJPY in the coming session or something. You get the point. So not much wait. Quite soon enough, we might see a sell setup on EURJPY is what my observation is at this point in time. And how do we get into this trade? I think I'll just push my alert line over here. So this will be the trigger here. I will I will re-observe the market if the market takes out this low of 143.210 FXCM data feed. Remember guys, different data feeds will lead to different prices. So just choose the data feed of your broker or just choose any, put reasonable alerts, and alerts sort of will function in a similar fashion. So that goes for our EURJPY account. I'm expecting a ABC leg down, right? And possible shorts. Second scenario, which is possible, is that this was some sort of completion over here. And this is just, what I mean to say is that the ABC was already complete here. And what I see over here is a 1 up, 2 down with a very, very deep 2, because we know wave 2s can go to 99.99% of waves 1. But that is less likely, and also we don't really care, because if that's the case, it should not take out this low. Right? So very simple, and possibly a good opportunity here. So that's about it for EURJPY. Sorry, EURJPY. If you guys have any query, just type it in the comment section, or we can just move on to the next chart. About 15 on trading view, Ronnie is saying. I'm not sure. Maybe they do allow 15 tabs open, because when I subscribed to them, they had this policy, like even the paid subscription had a X number of templates allowed, which was I think 10, 20 something. Only in premium they allowed me highest number of templates. But if you are using it, you know better. So what about you guys on TradingView? Are you guys understanding? I would like to see some confirmation from your end as well. Thank you, John, for the confirmations. Sinan is asking, hello, does your course work on scalping and day trading? Yes, Sinan, it works on all time frames, all markets. Sure, you can go ahead. So that's about it for this chart. Let's move on to the next chart. Okay, I see some questions here. Do you factor in data release in your trading, or do you trade around it? Data releases. Yes, I do factor it in my own sense of, or in my own understanding as a technical analyst. And I do form scenarios that if this market news is coming in, and if the news comes in with a very high data point, more than expected, like the difference between the predicted data point and the data point that comes out is big, then what is the pattern we can form here, right? You get the point. I think of things in patterns, and even the data points, I consider them in patterns. Okay. I hope that answers your question. Ronnie is saying I have chart indicator limitations, no limits on tabs. That's good to know, Ronnie. Well, that's funny. I don't use any indicators. Right. Andre is saying fantastic. So yeah, let's move on. Let's move on to the next question. Sinan, please keep the questions related to the webinar here. If you have any such doubts, you can just ask at the end of the webinar, but not during it. So let's move on to the next chart. 807, I will say considered as complete of EURJPY. Let's move on to the next chart. Next chart will be the chart of crude oil. And let's move ahead on the chart of WTI, West Texas Intermediates crude oil. You guys were with me in the last webinar. Which chart were we following? So in the last webinar, we were following this chart of crude oil, and let's go to 4 hour. So this was our point of reference, and we had an understanding like this, that this was an A. And there were two hypotheses. I was suggesting that either the B was complete here, or I was saying the B is continuing. And then I posted this very clear setup that if the market takes out this low, then we definitely have a sell setup with the immediate expected target around 70. So the market has taken out the low. I am holding some short positions here, and it is not really moving that fast. So, but the target still is around 70. But the ideal way to trade this would have been to add multiple positions and keep exiting after every small move, because I'm not really sure if it will go to 70 or not. So I will reevaluate the position. But coming back to the topic of discussion, what is this market doing now? So because it has taken out this low, either it is continuing the wave B right now, or it may have already completed the wave B at this point, right? So we can do some complex things. We can try and analyze this particular part. And if we do that, we can say that this is the dot A, and we can say that this is the dot B, and this will be your 1, and this will be your 2, and this will be your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 3 over here, maybe 4 over here, 2 to 4 over here, and then the fifth will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are two ways now. You can say that the fifth is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 complete here, or you can just say that this is just the 1 and the fifth is still continuing. But to be more precise, you can just draw this trend line and use that as your, but even that does not serve the purpose. So let me reiterate what I'm saying. So there are two things. Either the 4 is complete here, that also becomes a questionable thing. So yeah, I'll just conclude it by saying that there are multiple possibilities. One possibility which is on chart over here is if the 4 is complete here, the 5th is complete here, right? So the market can now start going up for this wave C. So for those of you who are not able to follow, who are not very familiar with Elliott Wave, I'll just quickly point out that we are talking about a flat kind of correction, and something like this: A up, B down, C up. So this is your A up, and B down is what we are talking about. In this chart, rough chart, I have shown the B as a simple zigzag, but the B can also be a complex move like this. This can also be called a B. Okay. So, and then followed by C up. So all I'm really saying is that if this is this flat looking B, then there are multiple scenarios. One is suggesting that it's complete. One is suggesting that it might be continuing. So there is no real analysis to be done. Just trail the shorts. But as I said, the entry was very low, so it's not much trailing either. I'll probably just exit it. I think I am in small amount of profit, but that's about it for crude oil. Let's not push this matter any further. If you have any doubts, obviously I'll just take them. Otherwise, I'll just note down the time of this completion. Yeah, by the way, guys, I do post the timestamps after the webinars are complete. So if you can share them with your colleagues or in some groups, it will help them a lot, because they can just watch it with the timestamps, only the interested markets. Yeah, but don't follow the habit of not joining the webinars and just following the recording, because I do these webinars and I want the audience here. So Andre is saying fantastic. Praveen is saying, hi Nirav, can you please also share Bank Nifty view where we are as per Elliott Wave? Praveen, let's stick with Nifty. I have not really checked Bank Nifty in a while, but Nifty I was pushing some trades, so we'll definitely check that. And as I said in the last two webinars or three webinars, that we are planning to launch a separate series for Nifty and Bank Nifty, and maybe some Indian stocks as well. So if you have any connections, as I said many times, just follow me up. If you have some groups, which have X number of people and you can share my work. We'll look to launch the series in the next week. It was supposed to be launched this week, but as I said, I'm looking for some firm ground, some confirmations that the sharing can be done, right? So once we start that series, then you can definitely expect a lot of Nifty Bank Nifty coverage and more coverage on stocks, NSE stocks, basically. Okay, and before I continue any further, there are a lot of people on TradingView who are live. If you can hit the rocket button, because that helps the TradingView algorithm push the content up in ranking. Similarly, there are a lot of people on YouTube. If you can hit the like button, that will probably help the YouTube algorithm. Not probably, it does help the YouTube algorithm. So definitely hit the like button and the rocket button on TradingView. Let's start our analysis on gold. Let's load up the chart here. Okay, so gold, in the last webinar, I remember we were having multiple views, and the main idea that I discussed was that this looks like an ABC correction possibly. If the market takes out the high or goes somewhere near the high, then we can say that the C is continuing, or we could say that this was not ABC, but indeed it was a 1 or 2 and 3 continuing, right? And the second thing I pointed out was that the market can go lower. Like if it was an ABC, then it can just go down from here for an X, or a complete leg down, or just a small leg down for an X. But in both of these scenarios, we don't have any clear setup as of now. So same remains here. We don't have any clear setup for the downside as of yet, right? If something changes, we'll probably cover it in the Wednesday webinar. And yeah, guys, Wednesday, same time, we will have the webinar. Wednesday is 30th November 2022, last day of the month of November, and the last day of the second last month of the year. Anyways, so join me on Wednesday, 30th November. So no change on gold analysis. Short term wise, maybe I'll find some trades. Swing wise, only the long setups remain. If the market goes around 1780 something, we'll be interested in some longs. That's about it for gold. I'll just take if there's any doubts, but I don't think there will be, because I think most of you guys were in the last webinar. 8:15 gold complete. Have any trades for Forex this week? Yeah, Chamera, aren't you following the charts? I have discussed 4 or 5 charts over there. I'm not going to point out a trade specifically because you ask it. I'm not your tip provider or signal provider. If you want trades, just follow the analysis and take the trades. So that's about it for gold. Let's move on to the next chart here. The next chart would be our S&P chart. But you say up or down, but I also tell my positions. See, man, if you are not familiar with Elliott Wave, just don't follow my work, or just learn and then come back. There are a lot of people who pay for this kind of analysis. I know for a fact. So the problem is not up or down. The problem is you are not able to understand how to follow the analysis, and you are looking for a simple way out, right? That's not how you can make money. You'll probably lose everything if you do that. So clear on gold. Thank you, John. And any confirmation on TradingView will be better. But anywho's, I'll just move on to the next chart. In that case, next chart will be of S&P's 500, unless some of you guys are interested in Bitcoin. Let's go with S&P's 500. So S&P 500, if you remember last time, we were still considering the fact that we possibly are in the sideways movement and that still hasn't changed. However, there's a small new update which might be of interest, so we'll just quickly cover that. So there is one possibility here which suggests that we may be forming an A up, a B down, and a C up as a flat, right? Again, as I mentioned last time also, there are multiple possibilities. It could be just continuing as a WXY, sideways, sideways, yada yada yada. I get my point. But the interesting point is that one of the counts which we were following was that this was a possible flat, and in the possible flat we were assuming that maybe it's a diagonal, and that diagonal possibility seems to have completed here, right? I have some what do you call, not so good points about it. Actually, when I look at it now again, once again, yeah, I don't think it's complete. So one second, let it refresh. Is it visible on your screen? Is my data feed going through in the live stream, or is it stuck? Because my chart is still loading for some reason. Can somebody confirm on YouTube as well as TradingView if the connection is going through? Yep. Not sure why is that happening. Let me check my speed test. Okay, some problem with TradingView, I believe. How about now? Is it working now? Spinning wheel has stopped at my end, and okay, now good. What? It's back. Okay. Some temporary issue. Maybe my IP was reset by the ISP or something going on with TradingView. Thank you for the confirmation, Andre and John. So let's move ahead. Let's move ahead and discuss what we were discussing. So yeah, see, there are few things about this over here. We were just interested in discussing this diagonal. First thing, a diagonal generally takes out the high, but there is no obligation. It could just touch the high and become a failed fifth. So if we consider this as the diagonal, right, we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we can just consider this as a failed fifth, right? Second thing is, once the diagonal is complete, we expect at least 3 waves down, right? So if we expect 3 waves down, then we can wait for this wave B, if this is a wave B, and then we'll look for the next leg down. That could be an intraday short-term setup, right? So that's something you can look out for, right? I cannot go into much detail because if this is a 4-hour chart, eventually you will have to shift to 5 minutes and 15 minutes to figure out the setup. The gist of the setup I just gave you, the gist is that if the fifth is already complete here, then we should see something like this, right? That's the main theme you will look out for. Now, what are the objections with this setup? The objections are that this wave fifth is not really big enough. So it is possibly forming, in that case, expanded flat, possibly, as I said. But that's good enough for us because even in that case, it goes down. So anyways, the point is things are unclear here, but still we may get a short-term sell setup on the lower time frame chart. The clarity for that will come only in the coming minutes or hours, and you will have to do your own analysis, but I just gave you the idea that this is the thing which might be incoming for you to take advantage of. So that's about it for S&P, and I personally think it is still a market where you should just focus on options, at least for now, until things become more clear. And if you know how options work, then I don't think I will need to do any commentary on that. So we'll consider S&P as complete at this point, and I'll just wait for confirmation from you guys typing in clear or understood, or if you have doubts, of course I'll take the doubts. Essentially, Andre is saying what I'm getting is that the higher probability is to the downside. Yeah, short term wise it is to the downside. There are some other scenarios. Let me quickly go over them. Other scenario would be that this was the A and the B is continuing. but the B is continuing as a triangle, right? In that case, this will be the A of the triangle, this will be the B of the triangle, and this will be the C of the triangle, right? And this leading diagonal would then become the A of the zigzag, followed by the B of the zigzag, followed by the C of the zigzag. Do you understand what our triangle pattern is, or I can just explain if you want me to? So that's the probability which suggests that even though it's swing short, it can go intraday or incoming sessions long for the short time. So that's why I did not want to go into much detail, because it has so many possibilities lining up for it. Okay, so Andrew is asking to explain. So in that case, let me just draw a rough outlook of this chart. So see, focus on this chart from this point, right? From this point, I'm saying that this is a triangle, right? This is again one of the possibilities. This is not the possibility which I'm saying is followed. So if this is a triangle from this point, then it should look like this: 3 waves up, 3 waves down, 3 waves up, 3 waves down, and 3 waves up. It will do it for 5 times. The first time it does it, we call it an A. The second time we call it a B, C, D, and E. That's the nomenclature for a triangle, right? And as I said, 3 waves up, 3 waves down, 3 waves up, 3 waves down, 3 waves up, right? Once the E is complete, we expect the market to break lower and go much lower. Okay, that's the general understanding. So now we compare this chart with the actual price action. You will quickly figure out that this is your A up, this is your B down. Let me just change the colors for more clarity. A up, this is your B down, and this is your C up, and this will be your D down and E up, right? So what I was saying was that C up will have what? A up, B down, and C up. It will have 3 waves, right? First leg up, correction downside, and then next leg up. So when we formed this diagonal over here, that was your first leg up. There will be a correction down and next leg up. Now we got it. I think it should be very clear. First leg up, correction down, next leg up. Forget about the nomenclature and the patterns. If this is a triangle, then this is what we expect, at least for now, until further information becomes available. We are waiting for your confirmation, Andre. Once you are clear, we can just move ahead. Okay, great. I do. Thanks. Okay, so this is one of the many possibilities, as I just said. So that's that. Let's move on now to Nifty. And after Nifty, we shall cover BTC or Bitcoin. Where is chart of Nifty? There we go. So in the chart of Nifty, last time when we were discussing the chart, we suggested that this market could be going, not could be, we had a upside count which was suggesting that this market has at least 2 legs remaining to the upside. Target suggested was 18,600. And as you can see, this market literally did all that. It went up, it touched 18,600, went a little bit above to 18,613, saw resistance over there, and then saw sell-off. So Nifty literally followed our analysis to the point, everything, literally everything. So let's have a quick look and see what else we can see over here right now, and what is the future possibilities on this chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's not a diagonal, we'll remove that. Okay, so yeah, so that's it. Now the possibility becomes that if the wave 4 is complete here, then the wave 5 may have completed here, or the wave 5 is still continuing, right? Now, if the wave 5 is complete, then we will only be able to say that with a good conviction or a strong conviction when we see a break of this channel, okay? If the market takes out this channel low, then yes, we can say that the wave 5 is complete, and then we can look for selling opportunities here for further downside. However, the trend looks very bullish. So, and also this channel break will have to wait. It's not immediate. It's not somewhere here. So for now, I will be on the lookout for longs again, and I'll place a little bit of an alert above 18,500 something. Let's see what it is. Around 18,590 something, I have placed an alert. So if the market takes out this high, then I will reevaluate the positions and see if I can take some long trades. And the long trades will be based on the analysis that the wave 5 may still be continuing to the upside, right? So that's our analysis suggesting that if 5 is continuing to the upside, we wait for some confirmation from the market. If not, then shorts can be incoming after the break of the channel, right? And I like to just point out our last analysis played out picture perfect here, literally to the point. That's about it for Nifty. It was rather clear, but still, if you have any doubts, I'll just wait and see. And then we can just follow them up. 826, 829. Okay, I'll just wait for a confirmation. If you guys have no doubts, type in clear or understood or something. Right, and then we'll move on to the next chart of Bitcoin, BTC, USD. What about the audience on YouTube? Praveen is saying clear, John is saying clear. What about you guys on TradingView? Andre is saying like, and I'm not sure if Ronnie is still with us and the other people who were there. Okay, so in that case, I have enough confirmations. Let's move ahead to the next chart of BTC. So BTC, I don't really have much of an update. Just a reiteration of the last point. We were of the view that this was a wave X possibly continuing, and we were we were expecting the wave X to continue as a sort of a flat correction. Within the flat, we have the wave A up, the B down, and C up. And my analysis suggested that we have a possible support in this region. And this region was the price region around 15,300 to 14,500, roughly speaking. So the analysis basically is still the same. We expect the market can take support within this region, right? Once the market comes to this region, then we wait for a possible reversal, right? And then some long strategies, I can just point them out here. If the market actually reverses from it, then the taking out of this last high of 21,354, roughly speaking, would be our first idea for taking long setups, or first signal to think of taking long setups. So that was the main hypothesis we are following on BTC. No change at all still, right? Second hypothesis was extremely bearish, super bearish scenario, where we were talking that something completed over here and it can go down, and there was another scenario which was suggesting bearishness. But let's leave it for now. It will, or it should become clear as time goes, right? So no change in BTC. As I said, support region we are waiting. So that would be it for those who are joining in for the first time, that we are waiting for something, some sort of support around 15,300 to 14,500, roughly speaking. And only after that we'll strategize further. And before we end this webinar, I would like to request you guys, you share the recordings or either the TradingView link or the YouTube link, whatever you prefer, with at least 3 of your social circles. If you have some WhatsApp group, some Telegram group or Discord group, kindly share it there. And if not, then at least share it on your social media. And if you have, or on Twitter, you can tag me with my Twitter handle 50_eyes, right? That also enables the Twitter algorithm to push the content higher if you tag me along with it. If not, just share the content. More views on the recordings means more of these things I can do, right? And that's about for my request. And if you have not already hit the like button, definitely hit the like on both TradingView as well as YouTube. Okay. Lastly, if you are interested in my services, then you can just check out my website. I have a video course, personalized classes, and I also have a book out called Think with the Markets. You can check it out if you are interested in learning more on Elliott Waves. That's about it from me, guys. And remember, the next webinar is on Wednesday, same time. So I would like to see you there and trade your plans in the meantime. Thank you, John. There was a question, I think flat. Yes, we are also considering the flat pattern as first probability. So, okay, so I'll just end the webinar now, guys.